The Gospel according to John is the fourth book in the New Testament. The four Gospels represent the good news that Jesus is the rightful heir of God, his only begotten Son. All who believe that Jesus became sin for us and died for you and for me on that cross, and then rose from the dead on the third day, will have everlasting life with Jesus in heaven. John presents Jesus as the Son of God. Listen to John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Hello, I'm Kathy Bartow. John was the disciple whom Jesus loved. He was the brother of James and the son of Zebedee. John was part of a three-person inner circle of companions of Jesus, along with Peter and James. In fact, these were the only three men who saw Jesus' transformation on the top of a very high mountain. In Matthew chapter 17, verses 1 through 3, we read, after 6 days Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. In the beginning of the book of John, he tells us that Jesus is the Word, and the Word was with God from the beginning, and then the Word, Jesus, became flesh. Listen to John chapter 1, verse 1 through 14. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. This was John the Baptist. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John mentions John the Baptist, who said in verse 18, "No one has ever seen him but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known." The book of John also contains 7 miracles and 7 I am statements. The 7 miracles in this gospel: John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11, when Jesus changes water into wine at the wedding. John chapter 4, verses 46 to 54. This is when Jesus healed the royal official's son. John chapter 5, verses 1 through 8. Jesus healed the man who was paralyzed. John chapter 6, verses 1 through 14. Jesus fed the 5,000. More like 12,000 if you include women and children. John chapter 6, verses 16 through 21. Jesus walked on water. John chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. Jesus healed the man who was blind from birth. John chapter 11, verses 38 to 44. Jesus raised Lazarus after he had been dead for 4 days. In John chapter 8, verse 58, we read, "Very truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "before Abraham was born, I am." Along with the 7 miracles, The Gospel of John also gives us Jesus' 7 I am statements. We shall hear more about these statements next time. Peace be with you.